Mic Drop Sports, our daily live stream. Let's kick off draft week by beating the shit out of that like button, beating the hell out of that share button. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the best channel on YouTube. That's right here. We're going to talk draft, man. It's draft week, my friend. So let's dive in. It's big, man. It's big. As I bring up some stuff here, forgive me for being a couple minutes late, but the power has been out here at my house forever. It finally came back on today. We had like a little, they said tornado came through. It looked like it. The poles down here on the other side of the house here were absolutely just wrecked. They were pulled to the ground. And oh my lord, there's a window across this room that I forgot to shut. So I'm going to shut that before we really dive in and talk about everything. So give me 1 second. Let me shut this window. I don't want my neighbors out there listening to the show. They could go on and watch it on YouTube and hit that like button for us if they want to hear what Steel City Live is all about. Give me 1 second, my friend. That means we are wasting air conditioning, guys. Wasting air conditioning. But we are here kicking off a big week, man. What's up, Mike Miller in the house? Miss Pittsburgh waving that terrible towel. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good to see you all in the chat early. What's up, DJ Thomas? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you guys, man, inside of that live chat. And again, make sure you're beating the hell out of that like button. That's very, very important. What's up, Mark Collins? I see you in there too, man. Good to see you. What's up, Big JD in the house? Again, guys, we're going to dive into this draft stuff. And I don't want you to overcomplicate this. And I want you to look at what Omar Khan does. Omar Khan does something that's very interesting and really will show you who he is going to draft. Now, you may not be able to nail it down to the particular person every time or the particular position group. I'm not saying you're going to be able to just nail it down every single time, but it's going to give you a little insight into what possibly could happen. So when you're looking at this draft board, you potentially see all these runs happening, correct? You're starting to see these position groupings fall off the board, and then you're starting to say to yourself, what position groups may be available to the Steelers at pick 21? And you're starting to decipher all this. So by the process of elimination and the way the runs work on the board and the way the position grouping runs happen throughout that first round, you're going to be able to maybe get an educated guess about what position the Pittsburgh Steelers possibly are willing to take at pick 21. Maybe they don't pick there. But anyway, you're going to maybe be able to do that. You're going to maybe to be able to start to see what position grouping. But then you start to say to yourself, let me look inside of these position groupings, and I'm going to look at something called a RAS score. I don't know if many of you have ever heard of that, but this is something that Omar Khan does more than any general manager inside of the NFL, and that is pick players off of their RAS score. What Omar Khan is looking for in terms of a RAS score is looking at guys that RAS out in the number 9. It is a scale on 1 to 10. You're looking at that RAS score, my friends. That will start to tell you maybe who he might select if you're starting to think of position groupings. You start to see yourself looking for guys that maybe at defensive linemen that RAS out at 10 or at 9, above 9, which is a really, really good score, guys. We could go into everything of what a RAS score has, what everything, parts of the equation that would give you the RAS score, but we don't want to do that. You just need to look and say to yourself, what's a RAS score of 9? Guys like Braden Fisk. I brought up people's RAS scores here over to my left. Braden Fisk, Florida State, a 9.88. He's a defensive tackle. This is the defensive tackle RAS results. A Clemson, Ruka Orothor from Clemson. Yeah, whoever his name is. He's 9.87. Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan, a 9.54. Gabe Hall, Baylor, 9.11. Logan Lee, Iowa. That was a 9.8. These are last year's, guys. Sorry, I wanted to bring these up. I'm just giving you some examples of last year. And who did the Steelers take, my friends? They took Logan Lee, a guy that had a RAS score of over 9. So then you looked at another player that I know off the top of my head that had a RAS score of over 9. That was guard Mason McCormick. Guys, this is a trend. And again, this is how Omar Khan really hammers down and deciphers between a couple players of who he is going to pick at that position group. So any position group has that RAS score that you're looking for, guys. So I'm going to bring up this year's RAS scores too. From the combine. I'm going to bring those up also for 2025. But I wanted to give you some examples of last year and read off some of those. So you thought to yourself, Logan Lee, boom, there's a guy. Mason McCormick, there's a guy. So this is something that Omar Khan does continually. So when you're looking at this draft board and you're starting to do yourself a favor on draft night. I think this would be rather interesting. If you're at home and you're just sitting and you're watching the draft and you're watching along with Mike Drop Sports or wherever I am on draft night, probably here, maybe somewhere else. We'll see. But when you're watching along, I want you to bring up these RAS scores by position grouping. And again, I want you to pay attention to the runs, and then I want you to start looking at position of need for the Steelers. Maybe a quarterback, maybe a running back, maybe a defensive lineman, maybe a wide receiver. Look at those guys. Those 5 position groups, I think, will start to give you a little bit of an insight into where they're going to pick in round 1. So when we're talking quarterback, guys, yes, Shedeur Sanders, maybe he falls. Maybe Jackson Dart's there. Maybe somebody else. But I want to urge you of something else. Who is the quarterback that has the RAS score 9 right now? The guy that we've been pumping up here at Mike Drop Sports, telling you that we thought that they were the best fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, it's Tyler Shuck, a guy that has a RAS score of over 9, a guy that can throw it all over the yard. So that's something that you need to pay attention to, my friends. Let me see if I can get in here to the RAS scores of the guys in the 2025 draft when we're talking about results. I do want to bring that up because, guys, I'm telling you, this is something, it's a relative athletic score is what it's called, guys, just so you know for future reference. So when you're talking about RAS scores, it's called relative athletic score. So that's what we're looking at, guys. I'm trying to find it here. Again, I was trying to bring up all my computer stuff here before the show, and it didn't quite work out for me because I was running a little late. Let me get into the chat before we dive the rest of the way in there. I cannot wait for the NFL. Steelers new quarter. Jalen Milroe ain't coming to the Steelers. They're not that stupid. Jalen Milroe ain't coming here, Mike. Please don't wish that bad juju on the Steelers. DJ Thomas, I feel like these next 2 drafts literally make or break the Steelers. Either we fall back to the bottom or we go back to the top. Just don't think 8-8, 9-8 or seasons are done. They're not done. You're going to have it for a few more seasons, guys. This mediocrity that we talk about each and every single year, I want to warn you, it's probably going to happen for at least 1 or 2 more years. Now, I'm not saying that you don't get a guy like a Tyler Shuck or you don't get a quarterback next year and you don't rip off the magical season, because that's what happened with Big Ben Roethlisberger, a team that was really in place like the Steelers are now. They have a team that's pretty damn good. But, when you insert that quarterback that can play at an all-pro level, all of a sudden you can rip off a lot of wins. You can go 15-1. You can be in the AFC Championship game. You can do some things that are way, way different than what they've been doing. Mark Collins, here is a 2 surprise guys in the first round. Offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. and guard Donovan Jackson. I'm not ruling offensive line out, Mark, so you could be on to something there. What's their RAS score? That would be something that you need to look at with those 2 guys, Mark. J7 edits, we are guaranteed to either get Jackson Dart in the first or Jalen Milroe in the third. Guys, I hate to break this to you guys, and I don't know why everybody is so high on Jalen Milroe. Please check yourself because you don't know what you're talking about, and I'm not trying to be a real asshole about it because I'm not. You do not know what you're talking about if you want them to draft Jalen Milroe inside of the first 6 rounds. If you think that that's a solid pick, you're sadly mistaken and you don't know what you're watching. And I'm not trying to be an asshole to you at all. I'm just trying to give you a little word of advice here. Jalen Milroe is a complete and utter freaking project. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying any of those things. But the guy is a several year project player. He cannot pass at an NFL level. He does not have the anticipation. He does not have the processing speed. He does not have the tools in order to be an NFL passer. I hate to break that to you guys. And for everybody that's hoping for a Jalen Milroe pick, guys, you really need to reevaluate that and really watch full games. Don't watch highlight tapes, please. Stop watching highlight tapes. All you see is good. You don't see any of the negatives. You don't see any of the things that you need to see to make an educated opinion about a player. You're not getting to see that. I'm sorry. That's not the way you evaluate a player, by going onto YouTube and typing in Jalen Milroe 2024 highlights. That doesn't do it for you. It doesn't do it. But again, Jalen Milroe would be a guy that is a several-year project. A guy, again, that is hugely deficient as a passer at the NFL level. Then you talk about Jackson Dart. I wouldn't take him in the first round either. After I've evaluated him a little bit further this offseason, the processing speed isn't there for me to be able to warrant to pick a guy at 21 named Jackson Dart. He just isn't there in terms of processing, because I think there are much better prospects in this draft that you can get for significantly less in terms of draft value capital. Guys like Tyler Shuck that rate over 9 in the RAS score area, relative athletic score. I want you guys to really think about that. And I'm telling you, if it came down to Jackson Dart or Tyler Shuck, and I'm telling you, Omar's going to look at that RAS score and he's going to see a 9, over 9 beside the name of Tyler Shuck, and they will pick Tyler Shuck. I could guarantee you that. If it comes down to 2 players, they're going to take that they value at that pick, at that round, in that round. They got to value that player there. If it comes down to 2 players, they're going to look at their RAS score, and I can tell you whichever player has the higher RAS score will get selected. Mark Malone, let's all pray to God they don't take Dart or Sanders. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, buddy. Jackson Dart and Shador are for sure bust. Robert Rowe, Milroe is the least ready of all. Yeah, I agree, Robert. He is the least ready. And again, guys, this isn't about Jalen Milroe in any other way other than this. He is not a passer at the NFL level. It's not a race thing. It doesn't matter what color he is. It's not a where did he play college football thing. It's nothing. It is literally, he is not a good enough passer at the NFL level. He is not. He is not good enough at that. Mark Collins, safety Nick Imaware, I never can say his name, should 21st pick for the Steelers. He scored a 10 on the Raz. Yeah, Mark, he's another one that had over 9. Absolutely. And he would be a good pick. I'm not saying he wouldn't. It's just kind of come down to this, Mark. Who is the best player available at what position? And I could tell you this inside of round 1. Whatever position they need the most, if they have 2 players that they covet, highly valued players. Both players are highly valued. They both have them rated in that area where they would select them at 21. It's going to come down to this. Which position do they need more? Is it a safety or is it a quarterback? Is it a running back? That's what's going to happen there. That's why you might see a guy like Imaware get out of there and not be selected by the Steelers. That would be the reason. Now, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, Mark, in no way, shape, or form, because, again, you know my philosophy on this, and I think it's yours too, and many of you guys in the chat. that it's best player available. It's best player available, period. I don't care if it's a guy to back up TJ Watt. If that's the best player on this board, that's the guy we go after here if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's up, Roberta Campbell? Robert Rhodes says, if the Steelers don't draft a defensive lineman in the first round, I will be shocked. Me too, Robert. Me too. And I think there's several players out there that they could get. Definitely, I think this is a very deep draft at defensive lineman. And that may be, though, when we're talking about you'd be shocked if they don't take one, because I would be too. I agree with you on that one. But here's the thing. The Steelers also are smart enough to recognize that this is an extremely deep defensive front class. And they can find significant value inside of the later rounds. And they can find guys with high RAS scores in the later rounds, too. Roberta says, I don't want Milroe. Me either. You think O or D for the first pick? That's from DJ Thomas. My mind and my heart is telling me defensive lineman. But reality is telling me that it could be a weapon. And again, that's going to be dependent on what they really think their quarterback situation is going to be like. There's going to be a lot that goes into that. But again, I think it's going to be a defensive front player. That's what I think. But my heart of hearts and the weird and wonky things that could go on inside of the draft tell me that a quarterback isn't out of the realm of possibility. But again, I think that they're going to aim for a guy like Will Howard, Tyler Shuck, somebody in the third, fourth rounds. And again, Tyler Shuck is a guy, I'm telling you, nobody wants to believe me. Mark Malone got me on to him. He kept bringing him up. And I just went and I started studying him. And that is a guy. That is a player. I'm telling you. It's a guy that I definitely think can make some big problems for other teams. No, you're right, Troy. Milroe cannot read the defense. Not at a high enough level. He doesn't process well enough, and he doesn't throw well enough in terms of what you're looking for an NFL quarterback. Anticipation. And two, he has a very strong arm. He's going to try to drive the football through you at 3 yards, you know. He doesn't have that ability for the touch just yet either. Guys, I'm not saying Milroe can't develop into something, but the Steelers don't got 3-4 years to develop Jalen Milroe. Roberta says, question, when was the last Alabama quarterback to have success in the NFL? The guy that just won a Super Bowl, Roberta, Jalen Hurts. Tremendous player. He did end up transferring to Oklahoma for his final season, but he was an Alabama product, played in big games, national championship games for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's the last one to have success. What's up? Oh, my friend. Monsters in my backpack. What is up, Boone? Giving a super chat. What's up, man? He says, what's up, coach? 2 draft picks from the last 20 years you were wrong about, good or bad. Boone. Love it, Boone. Thank you, man. You didn't have to do that, but I truly appreciate that super chat from you, dude. Good to see you in the chat, man. That was me beeping from the Range Rover the other day. We got a different car, so that was me beeping at you when you were in the front yard with the Bode dog playing with the dog. So that was me beeping at you. What was I wrong about? 2 draft picks, and it doesn't have to be the Steelers. I guess the biggest one that I was wrong about was Will Levis. So far, I've been tremendously wrong about him. I thought he would be the best quarterback product in the draft when he came out. Coming out with the likes of guys like C.J. Stroud. I thought Will Levis was the most ready to be an NFL success. He went to the Tennessee Titans and has had minimum time to where he's had some success, but very, very minimal. And I would say overall he's been a disappointment at the NFL level. So I was tremendously wrong about Will Levis. And another guy I was wrong about, and I got to say this, and it comes from the same draft. I thought C.J. Stroud was going to be a bust because I didn't think that he was able to process correctly. But he has proved everybody wrong and has definitely made me eat my words. So those are probably the 2 biggest wrongs that I had over the last 20 years of watching the NFL drafting, drafts, everything about the NFL every damn day, it feels like. But yeah, those were two monster failures in my category as wrong assessments on a player. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you to my boy Boom for that super chat. Amanda Carroll, is there any hope for Sam Pitzman? I don't know. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank when it comes to that name. Banks Jr., 8.25. Jackson has no score. He didn't go through the combine. Okay. Yeah, that's going to tell you a lot, Mark. The guys that don't have that RAS score, that may be something that could come into play there too. They may slip through the draft or through the cracks there. But again, when you're looking at that RAS score, Omar Khan, more than any other general manager inside of the NFL percentage-wise, uses that draft or uses that relative athletic score, that RAS score, into his equation more than any general manager in his time. Again, we're going to talk about, let me get another sip of coffee here. All right. I wanted to talk about this with Omar Khan. And this could go really for any new general manager across the NFL. Guys, this is only the third time that we're going to get to see an Omar Khan draft. And I got to tell you, it takes several years to start to get the feeling whether or not they're on the right track. And I have to say this about Omar Khan. He is on the right track. But the question is here in year 3 of Omar Khan, it's a real make or break type draft for any general manager. Because you look at, well, I guess you could say the Steelers might be excluded from this because they're ultra loyal. Any general manager inside of the NFL has a certain handful of years that teams are going to tolerate and tolerate losing while you're trying to build your team. And that's where people run into the problem of losing head coaches and changing general managers and head coaches constantly. And that's why those teams are constantly in flux and constantly bad. But year 3 as a general manager is a real make or break type year. Most general managers throughout the NFL have to hit, man. They have to hit somebody real quick, man. They have to. And that's something that they have to do because they don't want to lose their job. So they got to get a guy that's an immediate impact player, man. And really change the fortunes of their franchise. It's something that has to be done. And I expect Omar Khan to come up with something big here too and work some magic. But again, year 3 is very, very pivotal. Another super chat coming in. I didn't see it until just now from our boy Too Evil, Too Hope. Why hasn't Tomlin been extended twice by now? He should have been extended again, Too Evil, Too Hope. He should get a lifetime deal because the Steelers love to be miserable. And what does Mike Tomlin provide them, my friend? Misery. So why not? They love to be miserable. So, hey, bring in your guy, sign him to a massive deal. They should just pay him $1 billion and say, lifetime deal, man. You come, you stay, you do what you need to do. Thanks, my brother, Too Evil, Too Hope. We love you, my friend. Kevin, I can't read that comment, man. Sorry. Robert Road, Tua has had success when not injured. Tua has, yeah, true. I forgot about him, but he was really good at college too. Mark Collins, Shuck is a 9.85 in the RAS score, guys. That is, again, relative athletic score. Mark Collins, a sleeper receiver. Isn't it Jalen Knoll, 9.71? Yeah, he is, Mark. And we brought him up here on the channel a while back. I have some notes on Knoll somewhere here, man. Definitely a guy we were looking at one time. I have some notes about him. For some reason, I don't know why I don't have them right here, but we had a ton of notes on him Definitely a guy that you could get probably later in the draft that's going to be really, really good. Izzy Gomez, Raiders with Carroll win the Super Bowl for sure. Yeah, hey, Izzy, everybody got to have a dream, and why not you? You have a dream. Izzy Gomez says the Raiders will win the Super Bowl with Pete Carroll. Never know, my friend. Never know. Mark Malone, Shuck looks like he can play for me for sure, man. Yeah, he can play, dude. Everything about Shuck tells me something that translates to the NFL. Every time I turn on the tape, and these aren't highlight tapes that I'm watching, guys, I'm trying to find full games, to where I can see Tyler Shuck and his performance. And when I look at him, the consistency's there. The ability to hit every route, make every throw is there. The processing speed is there. The arm strength, we know it's there. The athleticism, we know it's there. The ability to read and process and understand defenses is there. I believe his age gives him a leg up in terms of maturity, to where I think that he will be able to come in and be NFL ready, to where the moment won't be too big for him. And I think that Tyler Shuck will excel with the run game. I think Tyler Shuck will excel with two big targets and big, massive weapons on the edges. And I definitely think that any quarterback coming into that situation can excel. But I look at Tyler Shuck and I look at Mason Rudolph. I think they would be really good for each other. Two tall, big guys. And I feel like Mason could really show him some real technique and real processes to go through inside of the pocket to make him a proficient NFL passer. And again, I think he's NFL ready. I think day one, Tyler Shuck steps onto the field. He is one injury, one bad game away from him being inputted into the starting lineup. I truly believe that. And once he's in there, guys, short of an injury, a catastrophic injury that takes his job, he will never come out until the day he's done. And I know a lot of you want to talk about his age and say he's old. Guys, say he plays 10 or 12 years. What's he going to be, 36, 37, 38? Guys, play that. We're chasing around a 41-year-old quarterback. Guys, there's no problem with his age. If you get a decade out of a first-round draft pick, it's pretty fucking good, my friends. That's pretty damn good. Damn it. Amanda Carroll, mildew too young. Mildew? You mean Milrow. Mike Namath. Mike Miller, I am so excited the NFL draft. Yes, Mike, I know, buddy. It's coming. Yeah, I know he graduated from Oklahoma, but he was an Alabama quarterback. Go Birds. That's from Roast. Jamal, what's up, man? Mark Collins, I think Will Howard is the most ready quarterback in this draft. His leadership, his ability. Yes, absolutely, Mark. He's a good one. He wouldn't be a bad pick, man. Absolutely. He would not be a bad pick. In my eyes, quarterbacks that are real possibilities for the Steelers currently, I rank them like this. I rank it as Tyler Shuck and Will Howard. Those are my two realistic picks that could really happen inside of round 3. I think that's where they get them. I think round 1 is either going to be one of these running backs, an Ashton Genty or an Amarion Hampton or a defensive lineman. That's where I truly believe them to be. Range Rover, yeah, nah, it ain't like that, bro. I paid cash for it, so it's just, I bought a used one as a second vehicle, but I do like it, definitely. I didn't want another car payment, so car payments suck ass, guys. Well, him and Tyler Shuck are the best fits for Pittsburgh. I agree, man. Rashard Marshall, Tua for what it's worth. Reality Rewind, we need Will Howard at 21. Do you love peanut butter trail mix? No, I don't, Mike. Monsters, thanks, man. Appreciate you watching, Boone. We need to get the boys together here, too, this summer, man, and let them run around, play some games and stuff. Come over to the house. They can play in the backyard. The pool will be up. Hot tub will be rolling, so they can do some stuff. So get Bo Dog over here. Daniel Warman, hey, Jason, why hasn't any NFL team signed Colin Kaepernick? That's from Daniel. He's too much trouble. He's more trouble than what he's worth. His mind's focused on social injustices rather than playing football. And To each their own. That's okay. He's made a tremendous amount of money off social injustices and his causes and what he does. And that's fine. This is America, guys. I don't hate Colin Kaepernick for what he did throughout the years. And I really don't even want to talk about it, but I'm only talking about it because my boy Daniel, and I appreciate seeing you, Daniel, as always. But again, it's just something that, everybody chooses their own path, and nobody wants to sign a headache. Nobody wants to sign an instant media circus, and that's all he is. And to top it really off, his talent isn't there. He was never a top flight talent at the NFL level. Was he good? Absolutely. Was he an elite guy? Absolutely not. So, yeah, the risk reward there doesn't make sense for any team, and that's why he truly hasn't been signed, guys. Yeah. They look at that stuff that's going on in the media, and they don't want to deal with that for what they're getting out of the player. Divine Gamer, are you okay with trading TJ White or Minka Fit? TJ Watt? No, I'm not. Divine Gamer, there is nobody in this draft quarterback wise that you can trade up for in 2025. There is nobody that whatever you're trading up, whatever draft capital and whatever you're using player-wise to move up to go get this guy, there is nobody that's worth it in this draft. There is nobody that is a comparable to the money, to the finances, to the financial windfall that comes from doing it in terms of the value. It just doesn't make sense. Bart Starr, Joe Namath, Kenny Stabler, David Woodley, and Jalen Hurts have all started Super Bowls after playing for Alabama. All but Woodley won at least one Super Bowl. Okay, good stat, Robert. Thank you, man. Mark Collins, a tight end to watch. Terrence Ferguson, 6'6", 255, 899. What round is he projected, Mark? I'm drawing a blank on him too. Jamal says, hey, man, I'm starting to like Mason. Been looking at some highlights. You swung me, bro. No, Mason's just solid. I'm not saying he's a quarterback that's going to win you a Super Bowl, but he's a quarterback that fits what the Steelers do. 10 wins, 11 wins. That's what Mason's all about. He's a winner, and he's going to be able to bridge you into any young guy that you need. And that's why I just don't see why anybody would want to bring anybody else in. It really doesn't matter. And again, if Aaron Rodgers decides to play for the Steelers, so be it. But I think Mason Rudolph is a guy that's going to be there through all the offseason workouts, be there through all the team building exercises, be there for his teammates, getting the chemistry with a stable of wide receivers that could be absolutely dangerous inside of the NFL. So, yeah, Mason will be there doing those things, and I think Mason's just going to continue to gain steam. And come week 1 of the NFL regular season, if Mason Rudolph is the starter, guys, I want you all to pay attention because he is going to light this shit up with those guys. And I'm going to tell you what, he is going to be absolutely a top 5 quarterback in the NFL during the time period that Mike Tomlin allows him to play before he gets benched. I'm just telling you, he will be. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live. Super chats are always welcome. We truly appreciate it. We've had a couple already, so go ahead. You're able to throw those super chats in. Your comment gets read instantly. Also, get that Mic Drop Mafia membership, guys. It's 99 cents a month. We are almost at 100 paid members, so make sure you go and jump on there, get that membership, and dive in here and get a membership and become part of our community. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. This is a nice community to be in. Very informative with everybody that's in the chat, not just me. The people in this chat are very, very good football fans that know their shit. Dave P. Fact Strolls, what's up? Mark Collins, a linebacker to look at. Jahad Campbell, 9.95. He's a good linebacker. When he's given those 9.95s, he's talking about his relative athletic score, his RAS score. Tom Wishel, is Cam Ward going to be a bust this year? I don't know about a bust, but I don't think he's going to be an instant difference maker for the Tennessee Titans, and that's where I believe him to go. I don't think he'll be an instant difference maker in terms of getting them into the playoffs and making a tremendous swing like that in year one. I think Cam Ward is an interesting quarterback. I think he's a guy that could really excel and do really big things. But how does Tennessee or whoever drafts him and is fortunate enough to get a guy at his skill level in there, how are they able to handle him and handle his development? That's the biggest thing that faces all of these quarterbacks, guys, at the NFL level once they're coming out of college. What team and what team they go to and how that team is able to cultivate their talent as a quarterback. And when we use the Steelers as an example, under Mike Tomlin, they haven't been able to do that since the departure of Big Ben Roethlisberger. And Big Ben Roethlisberger was a guy that was gift wrapped for Mike Tomlin to have a franchise quarterback, which is okay, great. But they haven't been able to cultivate one and grow a quarterback in the city of Pittsburgh since. So there's a lot that goes into that. But then I look at this, I say to myself, Mason Rudolph has spent 99% of his career in the city of Pittsburgh, and he has grown into a quarterback that can lead a football team. And at least the last time he was in a Steelers uniform, statistically, he was a top 5 NFL quarterback. And that has to tell you something, too, about him, that he did grow. So how much credit do you give the Pittsburgh Steelers for helping along that talent? And how much do we give credit to Mason Rudolph and say, damn, he was even under pressure and wasn't getting playing time and was able to still grow even though he was put in the back of the depth chart, buried as far as he could get inside of the depth chart by Mike Tomlin, but yet was still able to overcome adversity. And Mike Tomlin even knew that he had the best quarterback on the roster as the number 3 that year. All right, guys. While I'm sipping this, make sure to double tap on that screen. It's absolutely free to hit that like button here on Steel City Live. Help send us out into the YouTube algorithm. It's draft week, my friends. We will be on hot and heavy. This is a big, big week. This is what we've been waiting for. Again, forgive me. Over the Easter holiday, I probably wasn't going to get on anyway, but we did lose power here. There was a weather event that literally ripped out telephone poles the whole way down my road, guys. It was absolutely crazy. They're still down. But absolutely insane, man. I had the back door open, and it's a glass screen door. That I can adjust and make it a screen or glass. And I had it open and I had to slam it shut, dude. The wind was literally like ripping it open and you could like see it. You could see the wind, it was just ripping, man. Shit flying everywhere, pieces of people's houses, man, like soffit and fascia. It was absolutely insane. Our power was out for 2 days. But your boy. Now, I was prepared. I had my generator and shit rolling. I wheeled my generator out. We had a fridge running. We were able to charge all our cell phones. We had the stove running. Dude, we had it all. I was able to vacuum. I'm telling you, man, we were still living. We didn't have no internet, which sucked. But you were able to use your phone and watch games and shit like that, or watch movies and stuff like that on your phone. Had power to the TV if you wanted TV, but we couldn't get cable, so you had to do like DVDs or link your phone to it. But still, man, Daddy had it, baby. My neighbor actually went and bought a generator. He had to drive like an hour away to go get one. That was the next closest one available because they got gobbled up here. He ended up paying over $1,000 for that son of a bitch. Not me, bro. I was ready. Too evil, too hope. What would you change? What would change your mind about Tomlin? What would change my mind about Tomlin is this, and I think it's very simple. And I think Mike Tomlin is capable of doing it. It's just whether he wants to or not. And that is take a step back. Don't be that micromanager that he is right now. And get out of this conservative bullshit that he is in all the time. That conservative mind state that he is in all the time. That translates to the football field. That shows through his football team. And I think if Mike Tomlin can stop doing that. And I think if he could come back and just relax and allow some of that stuff to wash out, man. Get rid of some of that shit. I think Mike Tomlin could really turn around a very disappointing back half of his NFL career. And I know some praise it because of his non-losing season streak. But however, those of us in the city of Pittsburgh that are intimately involved with this football team know how much of a bullshit statistic that is, that it really doesn't matter. And it's not really any benefit to the fan base or to the Pittsburgh Steelers to just be average inside of the regular season, guys. It doesn't do anything for a franchise that is used to chasing sticky Lombardi trophies, that's used to winning playoff games, that's used to being there when it matters year in, year out. And that's the biggest thing that Mike Tomlin could do. Just loosen up a little bit and stop being a micromanager and allow your coordinators to coordinate like they're supposed to. Mark Collins, for these Rudolph haters, they forget the numbers he put up in college. He led the nation in passing for 2 years. That he did, man. OK State was a big place for him, man. Him and Big Game James Washington. Everybody remember him? Mark Malone, yeah, man, you're damn lucky if you get a good first contract out of a quarterback. Absolutely, man. Guys, NFL is not for long. Most guys don't make it past their first contract, and that is reality. That's why if you are able to hit on a player that is able to contribute to your team for 7-8 years, man, that is a hell of a draft pick, man. That's big. Because again, all these draft picks are lottery picks, man. Nobody knows how any of them are going to do. And it doesn't matter whether you're the number 1 overall pick or you're the last pick in the draft. It doesn't matter. Nobody has a crystal ball that's going to be able to say whether or not this player is going to succeed or not. Nobody knows. That's why they are all simply just lottery picks. Somebody A1 says A1 saw Brock Purdy would be a great fit. What says you? Also predict Tomlin's last season in Pittsburgh. Thanks, first time viewing your channel. Well, thanks A1. I appreciate you viewing, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it, and come back and talk with us each and every day. I try to involve you guys in the viewing, or you guys that are viewing as much as humanly possible. But to answer your question, I think Brock Purdy is a good fit for anybody because I think he's a franchise quarterback. But however, what's the cost? What type of value do you have to give up in order to bring somebody like Brock Purdy into your franchise? And I think the answer to that is far too much. Considering what you have to pay him in terms of an annual salary. Now, money, they can make the money happen. The money ain't the thing, but what type of draft capital do you have to give up? What type of risk do you have to take to get him? And again, I think the answer is far too much. I think that you wouldn't be able to justify and correlate the value of your capital that you would have to use to get him and the player itself. I don't think you can make those two things make sense if you're any franchise right now. Well, especially the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know about any other franchise, but the Steelers and what they have going on, it just doesn't make sense. But I would love to have him. I think he's a tremendous talent. I just don't think it would be a realistic possibility. And you're saying also predict Tomlin's last season in Pittsburgh. I think Tomlin's last season is in 5 years. I think Tomlin in 2030 will be done. That's if this world is still standing by then. I have something interesting to tell you that after I answer his question. But that's when I think Tomlin's last season will be. I think Tomlin has 5 more years left in him. That's what I think he wants to do. I think that would bring him to an age to where he would want to try to do some other things, maybe get into broadcasting perhaps. And I think he does want to chase and go after a couple Lombardis here before his time is up, considering the tremendous amounts of failure he's had in terms of playoff success here over the last decade. So again, I believe Tomlin has 5 years left at this mediocre pace that he's going at. But something that could change that would be, say the Steelers do get a franchise quarterback in place and they start winning and winning in a big way and they start to become in that conversation year in and year out. I will tell you this, I think Tomlin will stay attached to that franchise quarterback for as long as he possibly can. And then I think he would want to do what was done for him. The exact same thing that was done for Mike. I think he would want to do that for the next head coach. And whenever he sees himself, getting enough out of it, I think he would try to pass that along to the next guy and set up the next head coach for success by having a franchise quarterback already in place. So again, I think there's a lot of variables at play there. But again, I think 5 years is the absolute max of Mike Tomlin in the city of Pittsburgh. And again, thank you for viewing the channel. We truly appreciate that. So if you're new, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen. It's going to be an awesome week. We're going to be live a bunch. I'm going to be probably going on to some other shows. I'm waiting for confirmation on that. I'll let you guys know a schedule once I have it, which I'm going to, for sure, 1,000%. I'll have by, what's today, Monday? Probably by tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, I'm going to post like all our schedule. I'm going to have that done. I want to get that done no matter what. I'm going to let you guys know exactly when we'll be live and what the viewing schedule will be for the draft week. So I want to try to have that done by Wednesday at the latest, so you guys will be able to get your popcorn ready and get ready to go with us here at Mike Drop Sports. I want to tell you guys something very interesting that I heard. So when we talk about the death of the Pope just passed away, guys. Pope Francis, I believe his name was. God rest his soul, but he passed away. So when you're talking about the papacy, when you're talking about the Pope, how they elect the Pope and the Vatican and all the history there, when you look at the Pope and you look at what has been predicted through some literature that resides in the Vatican. They've predicted so many popes that were going to be there. And the next pope, guys, Pope Francis was the second to last picture on the wall. So there's these placards with every pope's picture that surrounds the Vatican where they all vote and all this stuff, the hall. I don't know the exact name of it, but all the pope's pictures surround this room, this great hall. And there's room for one more picture. And according to Catholic prophecy, in terms of what they say is going to happen, it is the end of the world. That's what they're saying, that this next pope will be the last pope. And if you look at how they've dictated the time, it says 422 years past a certain point, and that 422 years equals 2027. And you haven't heard this being talked about. You know, you used to hear the Y2K bullshit, all that stuff. You used to hear that all over the place, like it was the end of the world. But you've heard nothing of this, and this is pretty legit. So do yourself a favor and look into how they elect the Pope and all this history, and look into how the Vatican and everybody has talked about this next Pope is the last Pope, the end of days, in 2027. Bitcoin Obama, James Washington and Rudolph was an underrated connection. I agree. So was Devlin Hodges in big game James Washington. What's up, James Bauman? Would anyone be surprised if the Steelers overreach for a player? No, I wouldn't be, because the Steelers have gotten out of something, James, and that is the philosophy that they created, and that is best player available always. And they've shied away from that a little bit, and it's starting to pay. They're paying the price for it, and they have. Bryson, what if we trade TJ Watt? What if you trade TJ Watt? You better get a hefty haul for him. But guys, that's not going to happen, Bryson. The Steelers will keep TJ Watt. They will pay him whatever the check may be. TJ Watt isn't going anywhere, guys. And remember, I told you that because I'm never going to get off of that. That's definitely going to be something that I think is for sure. Oh, excuse me. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button. Let's get those likes up, guys. We're always chasing 100 likes. I know it's the off season. I know times are slow, but I want to beat the shit out of that like button, man. We always want that like button to hit 100. We always want to at least do that, so it's absolutely free to do it. Double tap the screen. It's free. It's easy. That's how you help support your creators. And, guys, people like me that, I make a couple $100 a month off of YouTube. I ain't making a living off of YouTube. So by you hitting that like button, which is absolutely free, does so much for our channel, more than you know. So do that for us since we pour our heart and soul into doing things for you. And basically, guys, I do this for free. Again, a couple $100 a month that I make off of YouTube really just pays for my time kind of to be here, but I appreciate it. So just hit that like button for us. That's something you could do, and it's absolutely free. You don't got to pay anything, and it's something that definitely benefits the channel in a great, great way. All right, let's keep going. Where were we? Damn. Oh, there we were. Roberta Campbell. Mason has grown into it despite Tomlin not giving him a fair shake. Absolutely. I'm going to give Mason a lot of credit there. Kevin Lynch, you never know who's going to be a great quarterback. The experts are off more than they are. Get it right. Absolutely. I agree, Kevin. No doubt. James Bauman. Oh, he's talking to James. That's because you live in the boonies, Jason. Actually, I live in one of the biggest cities in all of West Virginia. That's not saying much. But I live in Morgantown, this Cheat Lake area where I live. And, dude, there's tons of big developments. I'm talking big fucking houses, dude. Monster houses over here where we live. Like, big houses. You would figure we'd have good infrastructure, and we don't. Our infrastructure sucks, man. Our roads suck ass over here. Like, the road in and out of here to my house, literally, which I got houses that are multi-million dollars that are over here to my right, multi-million dollar homes up on the hill. Everything around me is worth a bunch of money, and the road to get in fits one car in most places. That's how shitty it is. You're telling me, dude, it's crazy. I will say what they are doing, though. They're building onto the water treatment plant and making new. So that's a good thing. But, we pay astronomical money for our water now, so we can pay for the project. But still, it's absolutely crazy, man. Our infrastructure is fucking terrible over here. Generac on natural gas is the way if it's piped in. Oh, generators. Yeah, my natural gas, my generator does run on natural gas. I have the hose to do it. But for my outside connection for my natural gas, I have one wire or plumbed out to where I can hook it up to the gas grill. I have to get a connection, and I have yet to do it. I keep forgetting to do it to hook to my plumbing on the outside where the natural gas comes out. And I just need the little connector, and then I'll be able to run my generator off of that, and I'll be able to run my gas grill off of it. I have the tubing for it. I just need to get the connector, and that's something that I haven't done. I'm almost lived here a year. I don't know why I keep forgetting. That's definitely on my summer, though, fix-it list here. Mark Collins, Tyler Warren is considered the top tight end than the kid from the team up north. The Penn State kid. Late getting, what's up, Big Russ? Jonathan Stevens, we in here, like and subscribe. What will we be our first round pick? And will we be able to trade back into the second? I think trading back in the second depends on how far you want to drop back in round one. Trading back in round one, I think, is your only realistic option to get back into round two. I don't see any other realistic path to get back into round two that makes sense for the Steelers other than trading back. And again, they're at 21, so are you going to be able to get a second round pick to fall back? I doubt that. Maybe a third, but I doubt a second round. I think the Steelers won't pick in the second round this year. Yeah, I like Jaden Higgins, Mark. Let's get to the evil Pope Roman. I didn't hear about that one. That might be part of that, Robert. Definitely. About 12 years, Russ. He's been Pope. 12 to 14 years. Something like that. Pope on a rope soap. That's crazy. That's a good one, Russ. Roberta Campbell, you are right about the Pope and the end of the world. Yeah, guys. And again, I'm religious, and I believe what I believe, and I'm not Catholic, but I put a lot of stock into religious things, and I made up my mind. I always tiptoed around that, and I told you guys this, I think last show or the show before, to where I always tiptoed around religion, and I didn't want to talk about it here on the channel because I never wanted to offend anybody. But again, I thought about it, and through my faith and through my studies of my Lord and Savior, I don't want to be somebody that denies my God, my Savior. I don't want to be somebody in the Bible, that betrayed Jesus by denying and not admitting their faith. And I don't want to do that. I always just from now on, I want to admit it, and I'm not going to tiptoe around that here. Now, in my personal life, I'll say it whenever, but on here, I always tried to tiptoe around it, and I don't want to do that because that does me no good, and it does you no good. I believe that I was brought here for a reason, and if I bring one person to walk with God and become religious and save themselves from doing this channel, then it was all worth that. Yeah. Find yourself, man. Find God and read the book, man. Let's keep going. Yeah, we need some more likes, Russ. We've been low on the likes for a while, man. There for a while, we were like crushing it. We'd get over 100 likes on a show, on a live show. Lately, people haven't been crushing it, but it's been slow in viewership because of the time of the year it is, guys. Again, all the fair weather fans that act like they know so much about football, they're all tucked away right now. They're not watching football really. Now, they'll pop back out this weekend for the draft. You'll see them for a few days. They'll be in there talking their shit, acting like everybody's wrong but them. And then they'll disappear again until training camp. Then you'll see them for a couple weeks, and then, they'll go missing MIA for the last couple preseason games. Then they'll be back hot and heavy to being a know-it-all in the football world again. I agree, Russ. He is a true pro. Irwin, no. QB, no. QB. Wow, I thought he was Pope for 30 years. Nah, he's like 12, 14 years, something like that. Mark Malone, Pope on a rope sounds like a Sandusky soap on a rope. I agree, Jamal. Never tiptoe around anything, man. When you start trying to hide things, man, well, not even hide things. I've never hid that being religious. It was just, I feared that people would be offended by it. And quite frankly, I don't care anymore because I want everybody to feel the same way I do inside of my heart. When I talk about my Lord and Savior, and it brings great joy to me. So why would I hide that? I want everybody to feel that great joy. Ray the Godfather, what NFL team do you think has the most potential this year? Who I feel has the most potential to, and it may not be somebody that you all believe. I believe it to be the Washington Commanders. I believe the Washington Commanders behind the leadership of Jaden Daniels, who's going to be special. I believe they're going to win a Super Bowl or 2 or 3 behind the arm of Jaden Daniels. I think he's that type of player. That's my pick to go and make it all the way. That's my pick to be able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, to be able to beat the Detroit Lions, which they did last year in the playoffs. I believe they are the third best team right now inside of the NFC, if you ask me. I think that they are a team that could really go all the way, a team that could really shock some people. And I think it's all because of that young man, Jaden Daniels. Sorry, guys. We had a glitch there. Sorry. But again, I think he has every tool, and I think definitely he's going to be definitely really, really good. Russ says, I accept the Lord as my Savior and follow a little of each denomination. Well, hey, man, that's all you got to do is immerse yourself in the Word. I'm with you on the Commanders. They're not a one-hit wonder. They're putting program back on track. Absolutely. I agree, Russ. I think they're really good. Doug P., I think the only one who knows when the end of days are is God. I really don't take too much in what men say. I agree. You're right, Doug, but what I'm telling you to look up with this is it's supposedly the word of God, being perceived by the Catholic denomination. Look it up and just hear what they have to say. It's quite interesting nonetheless. You're right. That's how I feel too. I believe in one true person to give me guidance and tell me and show me the way, and that is our Lord and Savior, no doubt about it. All right, guys, we've been going for almost an hour. Again, I'm going to get you guys the schedule. Thanks so much for the super chats. Boone, Too Evil, Too Hope. Those were awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. To help this channel that's almost to 5,000 subscribers. What a freaking ride this has been. We're on that teetering point to where, we could level out and just stay the same, or we could just go and take over this game. And I think we're going to do the latter there. I think we're going to continue to grow and take this thing over. Again, I'm still in search of a producer. That's what I really, really need. I need somebody, if anybody has any connections with somebody that is a actual producer that I don't want any scam people or anything like that. I just want to be able to find somebody that's very trusting or trustworthy, and somebody that can help me take this to that next level and really produce shows at a quality level. If I'm going to pay for it, I want it to be something special. So if you know anybody, email us at mikedropsports@yahoo.com. And again, I'll put out our schedule for draft week here, hopefully by Wednesday, so we can get this thing rolling so you know the times for our shows. But this is going to be one hell of a week. And remember what I told you about the RAS scores. I want you guys to make sure you pay attention to that. And again, before the draft, how about tomorrow night? I'm going to give you every pick without trades of who I think the Steelers will take and why. So that's what we'll do tomorrow here on Steel City Live. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports in the show Steel City Live. Peace, my friend.